somebody published Taylor Swift fan fiction, and how does that affect what I'm doing?
Taylor Swift, please don't sue me. I just wanna write a cool series.
Hi, my name's Sian, and I want you to write a book with me. I think it's really clear, and I've made it very clear on this channel, that the book that I'm writing is inspired by, we'll get into that later, Taylor Swift, one of her songs. What it is not is a direct timeline of her relationship with Travis Kelce. So I feel like I've got to address the elephant in the room, and I was going to make this video anyway, but I do want to credit the fact that I watched Shiny and Books video about this, and if you want a more detailed breakdown of the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce timeline, go watch her video. I'll link it below. But I actually read the book, unfortunately, because I like to torture myself, and I have screenshots of the most egregious parts that I sent to my friends while I was hate reading, which I will be sharing with you. So let's get into it. Obviously, if you don't know the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing by now, why did you even click on this video? Curious. I read this. The book is called Roughing the Princess. It is by Ivy Smoak. She posted on her Instagram, Authors Talk. When my friends and I were talking about this after she announced it, I honestly thought it was going to be inspired by Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like, the general idea of a pop star princess gets together with a quarterback. That is not what we got. So the first thing I screenshotted was, this book is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead, events, or locales is purely coincidental. I thought that was a bit of a stretch. I know that's the standard thing we put in our books, but you'll see. So this was the first screenshot that I sent to my friend, and I said, okay, I don't think I can get past even the first few pages. This is so bad. So it legitimately does a record scratch. Bet you're wondering how I got here. It starts with them mid-coitus. And I think the reason she did that is because the actual smut in it is not until the very, very end of this novella. So I think she did that so that she could include some smut at the very beginning. That's just my theory. So it basically starts out with this, and I was already super uncomfortable from this point. As people have pointed out, the names are, where is it? The names are Talon Kovac and Tova something with an S. So immediately I was super uncomfortable with this because it was just, yeah. Carry on. I did say this screenshot, I said, that being said, people are shredding her editing, but it seems fine to me. I was expecting it to be barely legible. People really were going like, you can see that this is written in 3 days. So I was surprised by that, pleasantly. Wow, way to make him seem like a stalker loser. Yes, you are going to get my play-by-play. The way that he is portrayed as being like some super fan, I understand that he obviously she was like his celebrity crush. I don't believe. I don't know him. I don't know either of them. I just don't believe that he has spent his entire life, you know, thinking about her when he's doing things. Because yes, that is something that will come up. It's apparently how the character lost his V card in high school. Yeah. So next screenshot. Oh, this one actually really, this was in chapter 4 apparently, and the circle section, I said, oh no, at least she was hot. Let's not minimize traumatic experiences by, you know, valuing the person's level of attractiveness. I just thought it was really gross to imply that, like, it's fine. You know, stalking is fine if you're hot. It's so icky. I don't like that. Oh, so this one. We just didn't quite fit, she texted. What about you and your ex? Tova had just gotten out of her long relationship a few months ago. My last relationship hadn't lasted as long as hers, but the breakup was pretty recent too. And I said, this is what makes it feel so freaking gross. She's changed nothing about their lives, but she's fictionalizing it and theorizing why it happened. Like, dislike. She was very fond of responding with that eye roll emoji, and I was very fond of stroking my while I thought about spanking her for her insolence. I said, it seems somebody read 50 Shades of Grey. Is that you, Christian? I don't know if I should post all this. Ooh. Okay, so people might not agree with me on this one, but I'm going to put it out there. He shrugged. I was just curious about who my friend is dating or not dating since you're in the friend zone. He high-fived Jasper. I knew they were just messing with me, but their words went round and round in my head. Friend zone. I didn't want to be effing friend zoned. And I said, 2000 cold. It wants its misogyny back. The friend zone has big incel energy. And I'm just going to say, like, it really does to me. I cringe so hard when I hear the term or like friend zone, just because I guess because I'm a millennial and it was just like hard to explain the way that women were kind of like shamed if they had friend and then they were leading him on. Because I've had that awkward, you know, friend go, oh, like I'm in love with you, and I'm like, we're just like, when did I ever give you the impression that that was something that was going to happen here? Like, we're just friends. Hi, it's Editing Sean here. Unfortunately, my camera's battery died, so I missed out on the last 3 screenshots. So I'm just going to talk through them with them on the screen. It will pick up like halfway through the final screenshot where I don't know how that happened. I'm gonna be honest. Anyway, so this one, but yeah, I never should have agreed to meet up with him because I hadn't been kissed in months. I hadn't touched anyone else in months, and when I closed my eyes and reached out in bed, I still expected to feel my ex beside me. I'd expected to feel him beside me for the rest of my life, and it still hurt. The comment that I made was, this feels super icky. It's like Taylor isn't even a human to her. I'd be shocked if she was a fan. Because it just came back to that whole like taking somebody's real life breakup and then fictionalizing it for other people's entertainment. It's different when you do it to a made up character, or even if it was just a pop princess and not so very obviously actually Taylor Swift. I can't stress enough that there is a way that this could have been done without it being so gross, and a huge part of that would have been to change the backstories of the characters, having their breakups be like in line with the timelines of their real life breakups. It's just a huge part of what makes it so uncomfortable, because nothing about it was changed. The next one is I promised it was coming. I actually lost my virginity listening to one of your songs, and I was thinking about you the whole time. He did not, but usually drunk ramblings were true. The only comment I made was, run, girl, run. And then the final screenshot was this, a note from Ivy. I got the idea for Talon and Tova's love story on Sunday, but my writing schedule was already full. But then I kept thinking about them all throughout Monday, and then I couldn't sleep that night. The story just took over my mind. The comment that I made for this one was, she uses the word idea very loosely here. She means read a timeline of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship. So I dropped everything and went into my writing cave. And then I stayed up all freaking week, writing it as fast as humanly possible. Thank you, insomnia and coffee. If you don't hear from me for a while, hopefully I'm finally sleeping again. Or maybe not, because I usually write series and I'm already having trouble saying goodbye to Tova and Talon. And Jasper. I mean, he's clearly heartbroken and needs to find another great love. And something makes me think that Mav's stalker might not be done stalking him. Who needs sleep anyway? I bet Talon and Tova aren't sleeping tonight either. Winky face. Gah, my heart with those two. Hopefully you freaking loved Talon and Tova's story. P.S. Go Eagles. Ivy Smoak. So, for a start, one of the things that was also really gross, and I've always hated about real people fan fiction, is that she took the wives of, I think his brother's name's Jason, which is Jasper, and then Travis Kelce friend, what was his name? Friend, what's his friend's name that starts with an M? Mahomes, somebody Mahomes. Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes. There you go, got it. Yeah, so obviously Jason is his brother, and that's Jasper, and then Patrick Mahomes is Mav. So she took the wives of them and killed off Jason / Jasper's wife. So he's a single dad who was widowed a year ago, and she turned Patrick Mahomes' wife into his stalker. That's what I find really gross about real people fan fiction, because I'm a huge one for bodily autonomy, and it feels like you are taking this person's life and the things that they would do, and maybe you're writing things that they would do, but maybe you're writing things they wouldn't do. It's well known that Harry Styles is not a fan of the After series, which started as One Direction fan fiction with his name as the main character, and the main character is abusive. I would hate to have a character named after me or based on me who is abusive, especially if that's not something that I would do. In this case, to take somebody's, like, you're just writing them out of existence, and she clearly was aiming to turn this into a series. I didn't like that. At the end of it, and I'm not going to put the screenshots up because they're just all filth, it ends, she finally goes to his game, so it's clearly meant to end on this day when she went to his game, and it ends with them finally doing the deed down a corridor in the locker room with a one-way window, which is very convenient. I don't know how many one-way windows there actually are in locker rooms. So they could see out, but the people couldn't see into the room, his teammates, and his teammates were walking past nude, and they were, and she was being quite loud. It was implied that she has like an exhibitionist kink, as does he, and like that they may be able to hear. Apparently, because it looks like a mirror on the other side, one of the guys at least comes up and looks directly like at her because he's looking at himself in the mirror. Fine, if you want to write a fictional character doing that, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, that's hot. But what wasn't hot was the fact that it's a real freaking person. Like, no. Like, the implication there, it's icky. And I mean, there was no thought put into it, down to the scoreline of the freaking game is the same. Let me find it, because I searched it when I came across it. I was like, that's not the actual scoreline of the game, is it? It was 34-0, I think. 34. Yeah. Mav and Jasper ran up to me and we all chest bumped in the air. I can't believe we're up 34-0, Mav said. This is epic. Yeah, agreed Jasper. Maybe Tova will be so excited she'll want to congratulate all of us by... Don't even finish that sentence, I warned. I looked back up at my box. Tova was still cheering. I hope she didn't wear out her throat too much, because there wasn't a chance in hell that I wasn't going to celebrate this win with her red lips wrapped around my appendage. So that brings us to, after that, there was another author who thought it was a good idea to publish It's Me. Hi, I'm the zombie, it's me. This has clearly got an AI depiction of Taylor Swift on the cover, which is just asking for trouble. But more importantly, She tweeted, "Yesterday I mailed a copy of It's Me, Hi, I'm the Zombie, It's Me, and The Broken Heart to Taylor Swift's fan mail address. Now we wait." And I said, "With all due respect, you're asking to be sued. Lyrics are copyrightable, titles are not. You could have called it Anti-Hero and been fine, but It's Me, Hi, I'm the Problem, It's Me is a lyric and therefore copyrighted by Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff. Don't do this, by the way. Bad idea." Somebody even asked, "Is that Taylor Swift on the front cover?" And she replied and said, "A version, yes." How is this not illegal fan fiction? I'm not being presumptuous. I'm genuinely asking. Been writing fanfic for over a decade and wouldn't dare put it on Amazon. Please post the cease and desist when you get it. And then up until this all came out that day, the book only had 2 reviews on it and both were 5 stars. My pre-order just arrived, so I haven't had time to start this one yet, but I know it's going to be great. How awesome is it to have an ER doctor who has seen it all be a writer as well? And I have friends who are doctors, who are authors. It is good because they realism, but don't do it with fan fiction. Quick and enjoyable read, blah. But then once this all kind of came out, clearly didn't learn anything from the Scarlett Johansson saga. I actually don't know what that is. Let me look it up. No, don't know what that's about. Go figure. So I don't know what that was about, but she has now put it back up. It went down for like a hot minute and she has now put it back up with a new cover. She still has the same title, which I think is wild. And I do think that, you know, that blonde in the middle looks a bit like Taylor Swift, but it's probably AI art, so I doubt that she did that. And finally, to recap it all, don't write real people fan fiction. It's weird and you shouldn't do it. I do want to clarify that I don't intend this video to be, you know, throwing down on fan fiction in general. It's merely the concept of fan fiction about real life people, where those real life people are the literal people in the fan fiction that I have a problem with. And I have read some amazing fan fiction in my time. And I think I still have fan fiction up on fanfiction.net if you can find it. If you are going to write real people fan fiction, leave it on Wattpad or AO3 or fanfiction.net. Don't publish it on Amazon. Filing the serial numbers off is something that you can do. Just make it very, very clear that that is not that person. And not having a literal, like, I cannot stress enough that nothing about the timeline of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship changed in this novel. I didn't actually intend for this video to be just about this. I was going to do, you know, make this part of my series of writing a book, but this is going to be way too long. So I'm just going to leave this as it is. I am on this channel writing a book based on Taylor Swift's song How You Get the Girl, with original characters and original... I mean, it's an original story, but the plot line is the song How You Get the Girl. But I do think that guy and girl get together, guy breaks up with girl, guy begs girl to come back to him is not necessarily a unique idea to Taylor Swift's song. I did panic when my friend said, "Oh my God, did you see the drama about Ivy Smoak and her Taylor Swift novel?" Oh no, what she said was, "Did you hear that Taylor Swift is going to sue Ivy Smoak?" And I was like, because like my whole intro is please don't sue me. But that's like a joke, right? Like, I don't think I'm not planning to do anything that would be suable. If you're Taylor Swift, please don't sue me. I hope that everybody can see that what I'm doing is different to this. I know that there was a lot of comments on the Reddit thread about there being a trend towards using using Taylor Swift lyrics as book titles. Clearly, they thought that they were just catering towards the Swifties. I think that just a lot of... Hi, it's editing Sean again. As I said earlier, when I was recording this video, my battery ran out, and this must be the point at which it actually ran out. I just put the screenshots in earlier because they made sense to go there with the other screenshots. But basically what I was saying here was that I don't think that people are doing this just to cater to Taylor Swift fans or try and tap into that market. I just think that a lot of romance authors also are Taylor Swift fans. I personally really identify with her because she's a great storyteller, and I've said this before on my channel, like, I love her songs because of the stories that they tell, and as a storyteller myself, totally makes sense. So I think that that probably plays for a lot of the other authors that are doing this. However, I did say in one of the screenshots that I would be shocked if Ivy is a fan because of the way that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were treated in the writing of this book. Maybe she is. That is just, like I said, I would be shocked if she was a fan because it just really didn't come across that way. There was another comment, not a comment, but like some line about, and I should look it up, but maybe I'll put it here. It happened twice. Something about he didn't want to be just another one of her breakup songs, or she was saying something about always writing breakup songs, or that this could be a thing for the new relationship. It just didn't feel, yeah. I'll put the screenshots here, you can decide for yourself. Let's watch the video from the TikTok because I saved it here.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I know you went to the Taylor Swift concert. How was it?
Yeah, well, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs that she sings. So I was a little butthurt I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her.
You made her a bracelet?
Yeah. If you're up on Taylor Swift concerts, there are friendship bracelets, and I received a bunch of them being there, but I wanted to give Taylor Swift one with my number on it. Not right now.
Your number's in 87 or your phone number?
You know which one. She doesn't meet anybody, or at least she didn't want to meet me, so I took a personal.
She probably just hasn't gotten over the Super Bowl yet. She's a big Eagles fan. Maybe she just made something up and just didn't want to talk to you.
Damn it.
Okay, so that's the excerpt from the podcast. And this is what happened here. Before we started recording, Talon was telling me about his experience at the Tova Saber concert the other night. Care to tell us more, Talon? What the fuck? She was performing in our stadium, so I just went to check it out. I shrugged like it was no big deal, like I hadn't been excited about it as soon as I found out she was coming to Labyrinth Stadium. By the way, speaking of Easter eggs, I really feel like that was a reference to Labyrinth the movie, and I was here for that. It was a great concert. What exactly was he expecting me to say? I wasn't about to tell the whole world that I'd had a crush on Tova for years. It probably would have been better if Tova let you come backstage though. I heard you brought her a signed jersey with a little note written on it. But when you tried to get backstage, her security team stopped you. They said something about her wanting to hang out with literally any football player but you. So that, like, come on, that's like basically what I said there. Maybe she just made up an excuse. I laughed, I couldn't help it. I'd murder Jasper later. This shit was actually funny, and we could always edit this out before we posted it later. It was actually my phone number, but yeah, she was too busy to see me. Busy, or she just didn't want to. I laughed again. I doubt the security team even checked with her. We both know that she would have let me backstage if she knew I was there. Would she have though? Of course. I wasn't positive about that. She'd technically turned me down, but it was a lot easier to think that it was her people that sent me away instead of her. She can't hang out with people before the show. She has to rest her throat or something. Well, she could have hung out with you after, Jasper said. Touché. Are we going to talk about football or not? Yes, but one more thing. I bet it's the beard, man. What? I scratched the side of my beard. Now, no, here? He has a beard. I scratched the side of my beard. What was wrong with my beard? I heard Tova Saber only likes mustaches. I laughed. I definitely have never heard that. Ask anyone. Shave it all but the stash and she'll let you backstage next time. I guarantee it. So I missed the thing. Oh, there was a bit where they talked about mustache rides. Obviously that's how he looked in that. And Travis Kelce, what does he look like now? Oh, look. He shaved his beard and only has a mustache. So yeah, great. I love this. That's about as much as I can handle of this. So just don't do that. I gotta edit this into something that's like... Anyway, I'm gonna go. I thought it would be appropriate to wear my Taylor Swift t-shirt for this video. I'm gonna go and film my actual video for my Write a Book With Me series. And if that sounds like something that's interesting to you to watch, or you liked what you saw here with me having a long rant, then hit the subscribe button so that the algorithm likes me. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Bye.